We have lost a master of the arts, and the best David Lynch movies and shows will officially go down in history as some of the greats. David Lynch, the unique creative mind behind such game-changing works as Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, and Twin Peaks, has passed away at the age of 78, leaving the world a more strange and magical place than when he entered it. Lynch's legacy is one of great love, for the man, and for his work. The outpouring of disbelief and veneration at the news of Lynch's death has perhaps not been seen since we lost David Bowie almost a decade ago. And even the fact that these two great artists collaborated in their work is a gift that somehow holds a kind of dreamlike weight. Like Bowie, Lynch was a visionary. A one-of-a-kind. A weaver of surreal dreams. A creator of some of the best movies that changed the people who lived within his world and were fortunate enough to be shown a glimpse inside his head. Like Bowie, Lynch is irreplaceable but leaves us with a body of work that is as boldly entertaining and baffling as it is important. Welcome back to Cinetherapy. Today, we're diving into the surreal and enigmatic world of one of cinema's most unique directors, David Lynch. Known for his dreamlike narratives and haunting visuals, Lynch has created a body of work that continues to captivate audiences. Here are our picks for the top 10 David Lynch movies. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Inland Empire. It's funny to say with a filmmaker like David Lynch that this one is weird, but with perhaps his most experimental feature, the director created something truly surreal. Filmed entirely by Lynch himself using a low-resolution digital camcorder and shot largely on a scene-by-scene basis without a complete screenplay, Inland Empire has proven polarizing amongst even the most die-hard fans. But nearly 20 years after its release, many regard it as an underrated gem. Starring Laura Dern as an actress who begins to embody the personality of her character in a supposedly cursed film production, it also features other frequent Lynch collaborators Harry Dean Stanton, Justin Theroux, and Grace Zabriskie, as well as Jeremy Irons, Nastasia Kinski, William H. Macy, Mary Steenburgen, and Terry Crews. Inland Empire will now go down in cinema history as David Lynch's final feature film.
You have a new role to play, I hear.
Up for a role?
No, I definitely heard that you have it.
At number 9, we have The Straight Story. Walt Disney and David Lynch may not sound like the most natural match, but when the company released The Straight Story in the United States, it did so to great critical success. A biographical story about one man's 240-mile road trip on a John Deere tractor to visit his estranged brother before he dies. The film was nominated for the Palme d'Or at the 1999 Cannes Film Festival, and Richard Farnsworth received a nomination for the Best Actor Oscar for his portrayal of the real-life Alvin Straight. The subject matter may be uncharacteristic in Lynch's oeuvre, but The Straight Story paints a picture of simple life and Americana with the director's dreamlike and unsentimental brush. Sissy Spacek also stars as Alvin's daughter, Rose, and Lynch's longtime musical collaborator Angelo Badalamenti provides the score. An accessible entry into the master filmmaker's canon, The Straight Story more than deserves a place amongst his greatest works.
This morning you fall and you can't get off the floor. That's your hips, Alvin. And you're going to have to use a walker now to get around.
No walker.
Coming in at number 8 is Lost Highway. David Lynch's cinematic use of themes and techniques like illogical action, mysterious characters, doppelgangers, and their impact on perceived identity and mind-bending narrative structure is well recognized. And Lost Highway is a glorious example of his exploration of nightmarish storytelling. One of Lynch's Los Angeles films, along with Inland Empire and Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway is a late 90s film noir that follows Bill Pullman's musician Fred Madison and his wife Renee, Patricia Arquette, as they navigate threatening VHS tapes, murder and false accusations amidst the Hollywood hills. The soundtrack was produced by Nine Inch Nails' Trent Reznor and features music from artists like David Bowie, Rammstein, and the Smashing Pumpkins. as well as an original score by Barry Adamson and Angelo Badalamenti. Although the film received a mixed reception from critics upon release, it has garnered a cult following in the subsequent decades and is now seen to sit amongst the quintessential Lynch pictures.
We've met before, haven't we?
I don't think so.
At your house, don't you remember?
No, I don't.
Number 7 is Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Following the rabid success of Twin Peaks, which saw early 90s television fans huddled around the water cooler desperately trying to figure out who killed Laura Palmer, the show ended after its second season, leaving a huge gap in interesting TV programming, as well as more than a few people still scratching their heads. But David Lynch wasn't done with the story of Laura and Twin Peaks, and in 1992 he gave us a feature film prequel, Fire Walk with Me. An altogether darker and more heartbreaking piece of work, the film tells the story of Laura Palmer's last days, bringing back notable cast members from the show, including Cheryl Lee, Ray Wise, Grace Zabriskie, Kyle MacLachlan, Madchen Amick, and Dana Ashbrook, alongside other familiar faces like Davy Bowie and Kiefer Sutherland. Probably best watched in between Season 2 of Twin Peaks and 2017's The Return, more on those to come. Fire Walk with Me can also be enjoyed if you've never seen the show, succeeding as a stylish, nightmarish gut punch of a horror movie about one teenage girl's descent into tragedy.
My secret diary. That page is missing.
At number 6, we have Wild at Heart. Laura Dern and David Lynch's creative partnership will go down as one of the most prolific and fruitful in cinema history, and teaming up his muse with the electrifying Nicolas Cage for the romantic crime picture Wild at Heart was a genius move. The film follows Cage's Sailor Ripley and Dern's Lula Fortune, young lovers on the run from Lula's mother and the criminals she hires to kill Sailor. Based on the novel of the same name by Barry Gifford, Wild at Heart is a sexy and frenetic ride that won the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 1990, plus an Independent Spirit Award for its cinematography, and also hosts stellar performances from Willem Dafoe, Diane Ladd, Isabella Rossellini, Harry Dean Stanton, and Crispin Glover. Exploring the dark side of America through a passionate love affair and tributes to iconic pop culture fare like The Wizard of Oz and Elvis Presley, Wild at Heart helped to establish Lynch as one of the most exciting and innovative filmmakers of his generation.
You are not gonna see him ever.
Alright folks. Listen up. If you are enjoying the content of this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a good old-fashioned thumbs up. Let's show the creators some love. Halfway through our list at number 5 is The Elephant Man. One of David Lynch's most appreciated works in terms of audience acclaim and awards recognition, The Elephant Man is a biographical work loosely based on the life of John Merrick, a man with a severe physical affliction in 19th century London, played by the incredible John Hurt. Lynch's exploration of human dignity is a deeply empathetic work, seeing Merrick go from sideshow curiosity to the beloved and respected friend of Anthony Hopkins' Dr. Frederick Treves, and the black and white film looks stunning while it does it. The Elephant Man received Academy Award nominations for Best Picture, Best Actor, Hurt, Art Direction, Costume Design, Editing, Music, and Adapted Screenplay, and although it didn't win any, the film did inspire the Academy to introduce the Best Makeup category the following year after industry outcry about its being overlooked. The Elephant Man is one of Lynch's more accessible and mainstream films, garnering both critical and commercial success without sacrificing any of the director's characteristic vision.
Elephant. Man.
At first, you will want to turn away from him.
Number 4 is Mulholland Drive. A love story in the city of dreams, Mulholland Drive was David Lynch's 9th feature, and the fact that he was still producing this level of masterpiece at that stage in his career is nothing less than remarkable. The film stars Naomi Watts as an aspiring actress who arrives in LA and befriends a woman suffering from amnesia, Laura Herring, following a car crash, and it develops into a brain-spinning neo-noir work of dreams, alternative realities, Hollywood satire, romance, and symbolism that has inspired nearly 25 years of furious interpretation. Amongst his various accolades, Mulholland Drive earned Lynch the Best Director Award at the 2001 Cannes Film Festival and an Oscar nomination to boot, along with wins for Watts as Best Actress in the movie's cinematography at a number of ceremonies. Was ranked as the 8th greatest film ever made in the BFI's 2022 Sight and Sound poll, and voted the greatest film of the 21st century by BBC Culture in 2016. A beautifully immersive work of art that rewards repeat viewings, Mulholland Drive will take you down the rabbit hole in a dark fairy tale imagining of Los Angeles and linger in your brain long after the credits roll.
I can't believe it. I'm just so excited to be here.
Taking the third spot is Eraserhead. Lynch's first feature catapulted him into movie making with a surreal assault to the senses full of droning soundscapes, expressionistic lighting, bizarre humor, dreamy musical numbers, icky sexual symbolism, stomach-churning body horror, and, checks notes, Radiator Ladies. The wonderful Jack Nance plays Henry, a new father just about holding things together amidst his grim industrial environment while being assailed by the unending cries of his poor mutant baby. This being a very arty independent film, it initially opened to modest interest from audiences but is now considered one of Lynch's best and is perhaps one of the strongest directorial debuts ever made. In 2004, Eraserhead was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation as a work of cultural, historical, or aesthetic significance, and has gained a cult following from long runs being screened around the world as a midnight movie. With such a bold and brilliant inaugural picture, Lynch announced himself to the world as the singular visionary we all came to know and love. At number 2, we have Blue Velvet. Perhaps David Lynch's most well-known film, Blue Velvet, took some of the surrealist elements of Eraserhead and mixed them with a pulpy murder mystery, throwing in great dollops of romance and psychosexual horror to create a timeless showcase of the great man's talents as a writer-director. Kyle MacLachlan, another stalwart of Lynch's work, plays Jeffrey Beaumont, a college student who returns to his small-town American home and becomes embroiled in a sordid criminal conspiracy and a love affair with a troubled lounge singer, played by the spectacular Isabella Rossellini. Laura Dern is superb once again as Jeffrey's friend and paramour. Sandy, and Dennis Hopper is simply terrifying as Frank Booth, the masochistic, gas-huffing psychopath at the center of the action. Angelo Badalamenti is back on duty for the film's hypnotic jazz-tinged score, and the film's soundtrack featuring, of course, Bobby Vinton's song of the same name appeared on Entertainment Weekly's ranking of the 100 greatest film soundtracks. Blue Velvet is a perfect slice of Lynch, spotlighting many of his essential themes and traits. A stone-cold masterpiece that may be his best film.
Hey neighbor! Here I come.
And finally, our top pick is Twin Peaks. In 1990, David Lynch changed the face of television forever and, even amongst a filmography as special as his, it's Twin Peaks that must be marked as his greatest accomplishment. Between the first 2 seasons and the show's triumphant return in 2017 with The Return, Twin Peaks wove the tale of the titular Pacific Northwestern town and its residents, particularly Laura Palmer, the teenage girl whose dead body is found wrapped in plastic in the first episode, rocking the close-knit community and sparking an FBI investigation and a tumbling of uncovered secrets. With their mix of murder mystery, surrealism, comedy, horror, and soap opera, Lynch and his co-creator Mark Frost launched a phenomenon, and although the second season was somewhat troubled and less well-received, Twin Peaks is now widely regarded as one of the best TV shows ever made. If you really want to immerse yourself in the world of Lynch, pour yourself a cup of damn fine coffee, grab a slice of cherry pie, and settle in for 48 episodes of genius. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the mind of David Lynch. Which of his films is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more cinematic content. 8.99.8